All right, it is Wednesday, my favorite day of the week because I get to talk to absolutely incredible people doing really interesting things. And I just love learning about people. And today's guest is no exception. But before I introduce Sabina, I, of course, must thank Shelley Lynn Hughes for the incredible opportunity for Sabina and I to be here to chat and just for this Pursuit 365 community in general. Thank you, Shelley, so very much. And of course, thank you to Leanne Miles of the Clinton Wilkins Mortgage team for your generous sponsorship of these Talk Wednesdays. All right, without further ado, coming to you from where in British Columbia are you, Sabina? I know you're on the West Coast, but where are you specifically?
I'm in North Vancouver.
Well, there you go. Coming to us from North Vancouver, beautiful North Vancouver, we have Sabeena Bubber. And Sabina she is all things mortgages. And as much as I have a mortgage, I had a friend back in the day, hallelujah, that was a mortgage broker that when my husband and I were buying our first house, he handled everything for us. But I really know not much about them. So I had said to Sabina, I'd love a lesson in let's do mortgage for dummies. So I be the dummy. Teach me the things, Sabina. Teach me your magic.
Well, I mean, that's why you have a mortgage broker, because if you knew everything about mortgages, then we would be out of work. We wouldn't have anything to do for you. But essentially, getting a mortgage, we all know what mortgages are about. They're about real estate. You want to own a home, you want to own an investment, and you want to create wealth towards your future. That's what we do as mortgage brokers, is we help you with that. And we help you to navigate the process of getting a home, also meeting your goals. So understanding what it is that's important to you, and not being transactional in terms of just getting you, here's your mortgage, here's your rate, and sign here, and then we'll see you later. With mortgages, and I'm sure with your mortgage broker, you notice that you've got long-term service. So understanding your mortgage, also understanding every year doing evaluations and figuring out what it is that you need during the life of your mortgage so that you can achieve those goals. So if you start as a first-time buyer, for example, and you know that it's not your forever home because your affordability as a young, 20-something person is going to be different than it will be in your 30s and 40s. So basically helping you to navigate your first home purchase, your second home purchase, and even as you get older, as you head towards retirement, maybe cleaning up some of your outstanding mortgage debt and having no mortgage, using a reverse mortgage, having no mortgage payments, or using a reverse mortgage for passing on generational wealth, those kind of things. That was a lot of information in a short period of time.
No, but that gave us a very good umbrella, right? As to the multifacets, and already I'm like, okay, so let's rewind. So up on the screen, everybody can see that you have your three different websites. So you have your different aspects. So your I want to call it a basic mortgage. Is that such a thing? Or am I being, way too simplistic? Like, are there versions of mortgages, or well, there must be, because you already touched on reverse mortgages. So let's unpack that a little bit more.
So mortgages can be quite complex, actually, because it depends on whether you're buying, whether you're up for renewal, whether you're refinancing, whether you're purchasing an investment, whether you're retiring or looking to access equity. My website, divorce.mortgage, is not what it seems. It's not just about divorcing and mortgages. It's about supporting women through, not just women, sorry, supporting people through the separation process and understanding the things they need to know financially, as well as there's lots of legal advice on there from lawyers in BC on the family law process. There's counselors, there's divorce coaches. That's more of a passion project for me than it is related to mortgages. But my primary website, sabeenabubber.ca, that's where I talk about all things mortgages. But there are numerous types of mortgages. There's also self-employed mortgages. There's high net worth mortgages. There's so many different mortgages, and everybody fits into like everybody's financial situation is like a fingerprint. There's no two alike. So having somebody to help you navigate the process, you may think you need a basic mortgage, but your financial situation is going to be unique from your next door neighbor's financial situation. And that's why there's different products, different interest rates, different financial needs that you have. And I basically help you to navigate which is the best solution for you based on your finances. Rather, if you were to walk into your bank, they just give you what suits their product line, as opposed to you getting it through a mortgage broker and getting something that's designed for you.
Wow. Who knew? Who knew? It's interesting, right? These things that we have that are part of our lives that we really don't. I'll raise my hand. I had no idea. So that clearly shows me I'm not dealing with the right people in my life. No disrespect to my friend. He's no longer doing this, so I'm not you know uh, slighting him by any stretch. But like my mind is truly blown, and I'm hoping that I'm not the only one. But this is why I love this seat, right? Is getting
Yeah.
to have these conversations to learn like set well again like such basic things that the average person, like, and I'd like to think I'm pretty smart, doesn't know, or it doesn't realize that more that can be benefiting. So wow, okay. I don't even know where to start with all of my questions. um how did you find yourself in this mode of expertise, and in this line of business? I would love to hear that backstory of how you ended up doing this.
So I'm approaching close to 30 years in this business. And I started on the consumer finance side. So I was working for a consumer finance company, and I learned everything about managing a business. I learned everything about managing consumer credit. I was dealing in high interest loans at that point, and high interest mortgages. So I learned about, a lot about the credit aspect and the income aspect, as well as people managing their finances. And I found that to be a really great platform for me, as a foundation, shall we say, in terms of understanding credit and understanding also how people think when it comes to their finances. And there's so many different levels of consumers when it comes to financing, because everybody, like I said before, everybody's finances are different. From there, I went on to work as an underwriter. So I was working behind the scenes, underwriting mortgages and reviewing. Brokers would send applications to us, and we would review them and submit them, and provide approvals and fund those mortgages, review all the documents and that kind of thing. That gave me a lot of insight as to what it is like for the lenders that I'm submitting to, and what their expectations are, and creating good partnerships also gave me a lot of additional skills. So those two things and the background really helped. And then I went and worked at a bank, at a major bank, for a period of time, and that's what led me to becoming a broker. I was working as a mortgage specialist, and the thing that I found frustrating is I would work really hard to find these clients that I would bring to the bank, and then what would happen from there is that once they completed their mortgages, that I was no longer allowed to advise them. But this was my primary thing: is I was working in mortgages, working in economics, working in real estate, understanding what's happening in the federal economy as well as in the global economy. But once those mortgages were funded, they were dealing with the branches. And we were also required to sell certain products to the client, and that's how we were based. Our performance was based on that, and I just didn't like the that aspect of the business. and I wanted to be the mortgage partner for life. That's been my thing since day one, is that when I work with you, that I'm working with you for as long as you have a mortgage. So if your goal is to be mortgage free, I'm going to show you how to get there. If your goal is to build wealth and have multiple properties, I'm going to show you how to get there. And if your goal is to get from your first home to your forever home, I'm going to help you get there. So for everybody, it's different in terms of what they want to achieve. So that's where I wanted to have those continuing relationships and that ongoing relationship. This morning, for example, I spoke to a client who, when I first knew of him, he was the teenage son of one of my long-term clients from literally 25 years ago. And I asked him, I'm like, are you married? Do you have kids? He's like, yeah, I'm married. I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. And I was like, gosh, like when I was brokering for your parents, you were just a teenager. He's like, yeah, I know. I've known about you my whole life. And I'm so excited to buy my first home with you. And so it is really about a generational thing too, is now I've been doing this long enough that I'm helping not only my clients, but my clients' children. And that's been going on for years. And obviously it's a sign of my age too, but let's not talk about that. It's
I
just
think it
experience
speaks
in the
more to
business,
your
right?
yeah, yeah, and I think it speaks more to who you are as a person, how you conduct yourself, and the job that you do for people. Right? That the cycle continues, and that what a great story. That must be so rewarding, so fulfilling. And again, it's a true testament to your professionalism and the job
Yeah.
that you really do for people. And I feel in a lot of ways, um, caring for people is becoming a lost art. So it's nice to hear that there are still human beings out there, that truly want to work for and help people have that leg up. So kudos to you. So
Thank
having
you.
been in this industry for 30 years, my gosh, you must the trends have been, so I'm just trying to think. So 30 years ago, where were the mortgage rates then? Were they in the higher realm? Because I know at
Um,
one point, like I remember, go ahead, go ahead.
I was doing private mortgages at that time. So I was doing second mortgages at 18% was the rate. Now second mortgages are at 10%. So I can tell you there's definitely been a drop since then. When I got my first mortgage in early 2000s, my first mortgage was 9.75%. And now we're getting there. We're up there, but I don't want to, I think we'll come back down. In the last 30 years, we really don't even know what the new level of normal is going to be for interest rates, because we've had so many unique situations over the last 30 years as well. But yeah.
Mm, mm. Now, what aspect of your business do you love the most? Do you love, and again, because I don't fully grasp the whole concept of how you get what you get, but like is it the thrill of the hunt, basically, of trying to search out just the right thing for the person? Is it the numbers side? Is it really the people side of it? What is it that you connect with the most in what you do?
Well, I have these post-its in various places. One in my office and one in my bathroom. And every day I wake up and I look at it and it says, I'm doing this because I want to make a positive impact on the lives of the people I touch. So that's
Mm,
what drives me every day. So when I'm in making an impact, it's not in underwriting the mortgage necessarily. Truthfully, it's about having those client relationships. And when I'm sitting and talking to a client to understand what's important to them, to almost feel like I'm a part of their life and part of
mm.
their financial future. So just like you would have an investment advisor that's working for you, I'm your mortgage advisor. So your investment advisor will help you to create wealth, whether it be through your RSPs, your TFSAs, your investments over the life, preparing you for retirement. I'm doing the opposite, is that I'm working with you to your mortgage, where you start with something big and you end up with something that's not going to be there at retirement. And if there's anything left, that's when we go into the reverse mortgage options. And we can talk about the reverse mortgages later. But essentially, the long answer of that is basically to make a difference in the lives of my clients. So yes, it's about understanding who they are, what's important to them, understanding their family dynamic, and what they'd like to create for their future, and helping them to create that by finding the right products and solutions for them.
Wow. See, it's a prime example of why you were drawn to this community, to the Pursuit 365. Because Pursuit 365 and Shelley's vision is so much about uplifting others, inspiring others, helping others, and it is no wonder that you found yourself here. So speaking of, um, are you someone that has known Shelley for a long period of time? Have you ever met Shelley? How are you drawn to this project as a whole?
So I have not met Shelley in person. I connected with her online when I discovered Pursuit 365, and I have the most recent book. And I actually was reading the stories that I found extremely inspiring while I was in treatment for breast cancer. So I was diagnosed in 2022 with stage 2 breast cancer, and I was laid up a bit between surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. I spent a little bit of time on the couch, and Pursuit 365 really inspired me during my recovery, because I was reading about all these amazing people and the journeys that they have been through and what they've created in their lives. And I really felt like I identified with the stories. And I also felt like I would be a great contributor to it, given that I have done things like divorce.mortgage, which is outside of my practice, but it's something that I do as a public service to help people that just don't know where to start. And that divorce.mortgage is filled with lots of informational videos, which, if I had known all the information that I've put out there on that website when I was going through my divorce, I probably would have, one, saved a ton of money, probably wouldn't have had two, been like, wouldn't have maybe taken as long to go through the process. And there were definitely better process options that were available to me that I wasn't aware of at the time. And then as well, I've created a not a website, but a following called brokerswhocare.ca. And that is an amalgamation of brokers across Canada. And I believe our sponsor is one of our members, Leanne, is one of our members. And it's Brokers Who Care contribute $100 every quarter into a pool. And every quarter we nominate families across Canada that are in need, and maybe they've come across difficult circumstances. Often it's families who have kids that are sick, and sometimes we come across families where the child has cancer and the mom gets cancer, or the other way around. One of the there's multiple cases of cancer, so that affects the family household income. So that Brokers Who Care, we nominate a family in Eastern Canada and a family in Western Canada, and we give away 10,000 to a family in need. And so we've raised, I think we're close to 400,000 that we've given away since 2016 through the amalgamation of our brokers. And that's just another passion project of mine that that has been created from seeing things throughout my career that I'd like to make significant change.
That is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Love how I love meeting people who give back and really take struggles that they've had in their lives and use them for good and use them to lift others up. And again, that was so much of what I was drawn to with this project as well. But even, taking something like divorce, which um, I've never been there, don't want to go there, knock on some wood, it's not never going to happen. But to at least come out of that with some knowledge and realizing that there is that need out there, knowing what it feels like, and then, hey, I'm gonna guide people and help people, um, get up and get going again. And kudos to you for that. And that's so very, very special. Okay, so you touched on the reverse mortgage thing. So let's circle back to that again, and let's do the reverse mortgage for dummies. What does that what is a reverse mortgage?
A reverse mortgage is a mortgage without payments. So generally, reverse mortgages are done for borrowers who are over the age of 55, and it allows them to access their equity to pay off their existing mortgages, pay off any debt, or create an income flow for them. So let's start with the first one, where you're just using the equity to pay off your debt. So you have or maybe you need to do a big renovation or something. You just want to have a flat amount. So say, for example, your property value is 600,000, and I recently had a client that was 84 years old. So she still had mortgage debt, had some consumer debt like credit cards and credit lines and that kind of thing. So that was about 250,000 that we needed to pay out. And so we were able to pay off all of her mortgages that she has for 250,000. And then she was able to access another $100,000 that was available. So what we did was create an income stream for her. So that $100,000 will drip out to her in monthly income for her, because her CPP and OAP pension income was not enough to supplement her living costs. So she was able to use the equity in her home to provide an income supplement for her. And so that's how it works. And so some people who may have clear title homes, I had another applicant who actually both borrowers, she was like 72, but her husband's 96. And his healthcare costs, she didn't want to put him into a home. So her healthcare costs were $20,000 a month. But they had quite a substantial valued home and no mortgage on it. So I was approached by their daughter to help them with the finances of that. So now every month they get a deposit to pay for those costs. So their actual retirement income is used for their living costs, and the $20,000 is used towards paying for those healthcare costs for him. So
Wow.
yeah, it's using equity. Some people will draw on that because people are living longer and longer these days. Like the lifespan is getting longer.
Mhm.
So some seniors are looking to give their grandchildren money, or their children money before they're passed, so that they can use it towards home purchases or building. Instead of having to wait until, some families, by the time their parents pass away, they're already in their 50s and 60s, and they don't need the money as much as they could use it in their 30s and 40s. So it allows them to access money to maybe gift them for purchase of a home, or help out a grandchild, that kind of thing. So there's so many uses for reverse mortgages. And believe it or not, they are used extensively in Canada. They used to have a bad rap. And I would say maybe 20, 25 years ago, reverse mortgages weren't used as much because there was some bad press around it. But they have since been regulated by the Canadian government, so that that reputation that they had in the past doesn't exist anymore. They are federally regulated, and there are requirements around reverse mortgages that have to be met. And we meet all those requirements for reverse mortgages. And I'm actually a certified reverse mortgage specialist. And yeah, it's definitely a product that's helped a lot of seniors in their life, and it's definitely something like if you have a senior parents that might need it, or if you are a senior and you need something along those lines, I can definitely advise you on what's the best. I have actually, now that I'm
That's
thinking of it, I have a client that I had two
yeah.
clients that were self-employed that didn't have their mortgages paid off, and they were both working in jobs that they were so exhausted because they're 60, 65, and they're
Mm,
like, I can't pay on my mortgage for another 10 years and I can't keep working. I don't know how to deal with this and I don't want to move. And I helped both of them to
mm,
two different at the same time, both of them doing the same thing. They were both in renovations and construction, and I helped them to get their mortgages paid off with a reverse mortgage and with a monthly income supplement as well. They're both really happy and enjoying their retirement now and healthier as a result of not having to work a stressful job.
mm,
So there's lots of options there.
mm. And my biggest thing that I'm hearing too as I'm absorbing what you're sharing is the fact that so many things in life that surround financial issues can really put people into shame spirals, right? There's a lot of times in people's realm where like I love these anecdotal stories that you shared because you know we hear what's out there in the world and we think, oh, I'm this age and I'm at this stage of my life and I should be further along, or I should be this, or I shouldn't be that. And then we bury
There's
ourselves in
shame around
shame,
it.
and then that keeps stuck, right? And so just in you just so matter of factly stating that, yeah, this is what I do. There is no judgment, and
No,
to unburden yourself from that, to realize that there is more out there. There are
absolutely.
options for you. There is more than just the bank and all. Oh, I think this is incredible. Everybody needs a you in their lives for sure. So now
Thank
speaking of
you.
that, so we already know that you are located in North Vancouver.
Yes.
So are mortgage brokers, are you restricted to um, provincial limitations? Are you Canada wide? Who can work with you? Anybody or
Yeah, that's a really great question. So I am licensed in British Columbia as a mortgage broker, and the firm that I work for, Ziva Mortgage, we're also licensed in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Ontario. So that means that I can work across Canada. And so through my firm, I'm able to work with work with lenders across Canada and work with clients across Canada. And thanks to technology, a lot of everything is done electronically anyways. We have an online platform for our applications. We have secure portals for our clients that create a client experience so that they can directly and safely upload their documents instead of emailing, which is still done with some of the banking institutions where they're having their clients email information, and that can compromise your security. So we use very secure platforms that protect our client information and that kind of thing. And it's only shared where it's required to be shared. It's not available in the public, which is a misconception out there as well. So, yeah.
oh, okay, well, you've heard it here, folks. Um, Sabina is Canada wide. Um, all sorts of great information on her many websites. I was on there doing some reading before her and I came on here. Her contact information is here on the screen. If any of this is resonating, landing with you, feeling like a need, what is the best way to reach you? Do you have a preferred method of contact, Sabina?
I mean, email is great because if I'm out of the office, there's always someone replying to my email. So email is always the best way to reach out. But there's nothing wrong with sending me a text or a phone call. That is my cell phone number. So I'm happy to connect in any way. And as well, like if you just have questions and you don't know if you're a fit, the nice thing with working with a mortgage broker is you don't pay my fees for service. So you don't have to worry about, like, if we're working with a bank or doing a reverse mortgage or whatever, they pay me, but I get to work for you. So I'm kind of one of the last good things in life that are free. So you get the benefit of my services and my advice, and I work with you for the life of your mortgage. So feel free to reach out to me if you want to know, like, is it a good fit for us to work together? How can I help you? How can I help you to achieve those dreams that you have? And know that having a mortgage broker isn't just about getting the best rate, it's about creating a life for your future.
Oh, there's the mic drop moment right there. About say
About,
that one more time,
I
Sabina. Say
kind
it
of
one more
flubbed it a
time.
little bit there, but it's about creating the life that you want for your future
There
self.
you
Your
go,
future
folks.
self will thank you if you call me.
Well, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. Go reach out to Sabina, create create the future that you deserve. We all work way too hard. We all work
Yeah,
way too hard to not have our money and our assets working for us. And she's clearly telling us that there's more to this than I had any idea of. Now, before I sign off, Sabina, I just want to say that your hair is phenomenal. As a fellow short hair girl, you're all interview. I'm like, damn, her hair is amazing. So
thank you. This is one of the
I
blessings.
just
This is one of the things after I had breast cancer. This is how it grew back. So I have to say, I'm grateful it grew back like this. But I used to spend a lot of time in the salon covering this up, only to find out that it worked out okay.
oh, it's fabulous, absolutely
Thank you.
fabulous. Suits you
Thank you.
beautifully.
Awesome.
All right, folks. Okay, so websites to check out, contact information here, and if you want to, you can follow Sabina on whoops, I just put it there and got rid of it. You can follow her on socials as well, and do yourself a favor, reach out and work some mortgage magic with Sabina. Sabina, thank you so very much for sharing your heart, for sharing your passion, and for sharing your expertise with us here today. It really, really means a lot. And thank you again for all the kindness and generosity that you're spreading out in the world. Our world definitely needs more of that. And I really feel that that is so infectious and contagious. And the more people shine light, others, it catches and it spreads. And thank you. And thank you, of course, to Shelley for this incredible opportunity for Sabina and I to be here today. Um, have a happy Wednesday, and
Thank you.
go be amazing, folks, and keep pursuing your happiness and your joy and your best self. Thanks, Sabina.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.